A 17-year veteran of the Amherst Police Department remains in critical condition at Metro Health tonight after being shot during a standoff in Sheffield Lake. It started around 10 a.m. Thursday morning. U.S. Marshals went to serve multiple weapons-related felony warrants on 39-year-old Martin Robinson at his Sheffield Lake home. That's when the standoff began. Hours later, Lorain County SWAT officers tried to enter the home, and the shooting began. Amherst police officer Eugene Potasic, who was a member of the Lorain County SWAT team, was shot and taken by life flight to Metro Health. Police shot Robinson, but his injuries were not life-threatening, and he's currently in custody.
He would not respond to the door, wouldn't come out. After numerous attempts to call him and call him out for several hours, the SWAT team entered and he opened fire on them.
Officers used so much tear gas last night, they still needed gas masks to search Robinson's home this morning. Brook Park police arrested Robinson last Halloween for driving under the influence. He was indicted on that charge, plus carrying a concealed weapon, mishandling of a weapon in a vehicle, and violating a protection order. And we're learning more about that officer who was injured. Will Ewick is live in Amherst with what we know tonight. Hi, Will.
Monica, Eugene Potasic was an officer, a patrolman out here at Amherst Police Department. He's been here for 17 years. He was on the SWAT team for several years when this all happened last night. It was that first attempt to get into the home upon entry in which he was shot. He was taken then via lifeline to Metro Health Medical Hospital. Staff there able to stabilize him, but he was listed in critical condition. I just spoke with Metro Health just a short while ago. They say that he is still in critical condition, but it's something we'll continue to follow and bring you updates here as well as online at WKYC.com. Live in Amherst, Will Ewick, Channel 3 News.